Hey everybody, welcome to Amy Nolte Music. I have a very old video. It's actually my only video that has hit 1 million views called How to Figure Out Chords to Songs. In that video, we talk about listening to bass notes, and that is very important. Today, I want to take you a step further. If you've not watched that video, you should probably watch it at some point. But usually when I talk about figuring out chords, and usually when I sit down with people to help them figure out chords, I ask them if they have a firm grasp on the 1 and the 4 and the 5 chord. This one and this one in the key of C, right? C and F and G. Now, we can make diatonic triads. That means play a note, skip a note, play a note, skip a note, play a note from the scale, the major scale. Here's the first one, here's the second one, third one, fourth one, fifth one, sixth one, seventh one. Those are called the diatonic triads. It just so happens that the 1 and the 4 and the 5 are the most common of those 7 diatonic triads. They happen the most often. You can see it in like Happy Birthday. And if I ask somebody to just play me 1 and 4 and 5 while I sing Happy Birthday, chances are they're going to be able to do it. If I go, happy birthday to you, they might try the 4 chord, and they'd be like, no, it's got to be the 5 chord. You. Now, the reason is because the melody note is in the 5 chord. It's a B. Happy birthday to you. They can probably hear that it's going to go back to the 1. Happy birthday, happy birthday. Now, using logic, if you know the da 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 da. If you know that A is in the melody, you might choose that 4 chord. Birthday, happy birthday to you. Sometimes trial and error can get you there, but most of the time, people can get those. If we do the wheels on the bus go round and round, round and round, round and round. The wheels on the bus go round and round, all through the town. They can kind of hear it, they can kind of make guesses, and usually they nail it. Even harder songs, like Heart and Soul, that's a very common progression. Might be easy to hear. And that, that's the 1 and the 6th note of the major scale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and you play 1, skip 1, play 1, skip 1, play 1, you get A minor. That's probably the next most common chord that you'll have after 1 and 4 and 5. And you hear songs like this all the time. 1, 6, 4, 5. You hear it all the time. But maybe if I gave you Take Me Out to the Ball Game, you might get tripped up on one part. Let's try it. Take me out to the ball. Maybe you try 4. Ball. Nah. Maybe you try 5. Ball game. Good. Take me out to the crowd. Well, it sounds like we should go back to 5 there, right? Crowd. And then buy me some peanuts and Cracker Jacks. If we figure out the melody, we can see that it leaves the key. Like there's a note in there that's not white. It's not in that major scale. And if you try all of those diatonic triads to see if they sound good on that part, if you go, buy me some pea, no, buy me some pea. Sorry, I'm stopping on the syllable P. Buy me some pea. No, buy me some pea. Buy me some pea. I mean, that one sounds okay. Buy me some pea. But so let's try the A minor. So we're like, take me out to the crowd. Buy me some. But it's not right, is it? So none of those work. Not the most common ones, not the next most common one, and not the other ones. This is the trick I'm going to show you today. If you run across a song and you're trying to figure out the chords by ear, that means you don't look it up on your internet browser, then you've got this really cool little trick that you can try. All right, so what you need to do is if you get stuck on one chord, you ask yourself, what's the next chord? All right, so we're saying, da-da-da-da-da. We don't know this one. Buy me some peanuts and Cracker Jacks. That one. What are those notes? Well, they spell D minor. We've got this. So we might ask ourselves if the next chord is going to be D minor. So we're just going to leave that one out. We're going to take me out to the crowd, buy me some peanuts and Cracker Jacks. Heck yes, that's what it is. Here's where the trick comes in. Now, if you're going to go to another one of those chords and have it kind of feel like home for a second, because it kind of does, right? Like Cracker Jacks, well, Cracker Jacks can be thought of as home for several reasons. They're delicious. But somebody said they don't come with a prize anymore. I'm upset about that. All right, let's check this out, though. Watch this. If these are the diatonic triads of C major, and they are, this is the one we're shooting for. We need to ask ourselves a question. There has got to be a chord that is not one of these 7 chords that will lead us to D minor. Now, the chord that leads us to places is the 5. The 5 chord would take us back to 1. It happens all the time. So we have to ask ourselves, what's the 5 of D minor? Easiest way to figure that out is to just play a D minor scale and count up to 5. Then to build a major triad on that note. To build a major triad, we have to play a major third, then we have to play a minor third away from that. You can think of it like that. You can also think of it like 1, 2, 3, 4 half steps up, and then 1, 2, 3 half steps up. That gives us A. It gives us an A chord. That's out of the key. It's got a C sharp in it, right? But we got to try it. Let's see how it sounds. So we're like, take me out to the crowd. Here it comes. Buy me some peanuts and Cracker Jacks. And we've nailed it. That's what it is. So D minor, if that's going to be the place we're shooting for, we're going to ask ourselves, could the preceding chord be the 5 of D minor? If it is, we figure it out. It's A. And you know what we call that chord? We call it the 5 of 2. So we've had take me out to the ball game, 5, 1. Take me out to the crowd, 5. Here comes our next chord, the 5 of 2. It's an A chord, and it takes us to the 2. Buy me some peanuts and Cracker Jacks, and we're there. That's how you write it, like a fraction. Let's look at Jingle Bells, and let's do it in the same key. Christmas time is coming up. Why not? We've got jingle bells, jingle all the way. That's all the 1 chord. Here's the next melody note. It's a good chance that's going to be the 4 chord. That's what I would always tell myself. If the melody note is an F, I'm going to try an F chord. See how it sounds. Oh, what fun it is to ride. The melody is going to settle on an E there. Now we've got in a 1-horse open sleigh, hey, like that. I know that the hey is going to probably be the 5 of C. Hey, and we're going to go back. Jingle bells, right? But how about the one before it? So we're... Now we can try all the other chords. That one sounds close to me. It doesn't sound right. No. That one also sounds close. It doesn't sound quite right. Before I even take you through the rest of them, let's apply the logic that we just used for Take Me Out to the Ball Game. So if we know that G is coming up next on Sleigh Hey, right? We ask ourselves, what is the 5 of G? All right, there's G. All we have to do is go up 5 notes from it. There's a D. That's what it is. It's a D, and we build a major triad. So 1, 2, 3, 4 half steps, 1, 2, 3 half steps, and it's D major. D major in the key of C. Could it be that Jingle Bells has a D major in it if it's in the key of C? Jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun. There's the F. It is to ride. Here we go. Let's try it. In a 1-horse. And it's money. Open sleigh. Now, if you want to get a little bit fancier, especially with old-fashioned songs like this, most of the time you're not just going to have a regular triad, you're actually going to have a dominant seventh on the top. So you can hear that if we go, oh, what fun it is to ride in a, if we put this one in here, one horse open sleigh. That's even better resolution, isn't it? To put that dominant seventh chord on the top. So the way you do that is you build your major triad, then you just come down a whole step from the octave. That's your dominant seventh chord. That's your 5 of 5. 5 of G is D7. The 5 of C is C major. Let's try another song. Let's try a pop song. I really like that song by the Bangles called Eternal Flame. Do you guys know that one? And let's think about it in G, because we've been thinking in C, but let's do it in G. Close your eyes, give me your hand. This one uses 1, minor 6, 4, and 5. Just like I said, like Heart and Soul does. It's pretty easy to figure out. You can listen to the recording. You can hear the bass note. It's going to go down a little bit. That's when you say to yourself, maybe this is that 6 that Amy was talking about. Do you feel my heart beating? Do you understand? If we end up here on E minor and we have this next chord that's going to happen, what's the melody? Do you understand? Do you feel the same? We could try all the chords and see if they work right there. It's a little tedious, but you can do that on your own time. I'm going to tell you that none of them do work, and that the place that we end up, the same, is going to be a diatonic chord. So one of these. So we're going to play a G major scale, figure out these triads. And our ear can tell us that this one sounds like it's going to land on the same, right? Do you feel the same? E minor. We can tell that that's the place we're going to. We just don't know the preceding chord because none of these worked. They didn't work. It's kind of like in geometry when you know you've got like your triangle or your square and you know all of the angle, how many degrees they are except for one, and you use your brain to figure out what it has to be because you know the other things. That's what this is like. It's almost like doing a geometry proof, which is really the only part of high school math that stuck with me. But you know where you're coming from, which is G. You know where you're ending up for a second anyway, which is E minor. And you're just going to ask yourself, what's the 5 of E minor? How do we do it? There's the E. We count up 5. Play the E minor scale. Maybe you don't know how to do that. It's fairly simple. If you don't know how to play it, if you know that your landing place is a minor chord and you need to figure out what's the 5th note, but you don't necessarily know your minor scale, all you have to do is come up a minor third, 1, 2, 3 half steps, and pretend you're in the key of G, but you start on an E. That's like a simple way of letting you know how to play the E minor scale, is that you start on an E and you play all the notes you would play if you were playing G major scale. So only one sharp. And we're just going to count to 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. B, okay. Now we're going to build a major triad. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. This is a B major chord. You telling me that in this Eternal Flame song that's in G, we're going to have a B chord? Let's see. Close your eyes, give me your hand. Do you feel my heart beating? Do you understand? Do you, right here, feel? Absolutely, that's what it is. Could we add a dominant 7th on the top of it, and would that sound good? We go to the octave, we come down a whole step. Stand, do you feel? Yeah, that sounds good. You can have it or you can not have it, whatever you choose, actually. Feel the same. How about that? It's this idea that when our ears fail us, when we know there's a chord that we just can't quite grasp, 9 times out of 10, it's going to be a secondary dominant. That means it's going to be the 5 of one of the diatonic triads. It won't be one of the diatonic triads. It will be the 5 of one of them. Let's try another song and just see if your brains can do it without me talking you through it. So let's try, I've been working on the railroad in the key of F. Here's the melody note. Which one are we going to try? Yeah, let's try the 4. That doesn't sound right. No, that doesn't sound right. Let's try them all. No. No. All right. Where are we going to next? Something. Can you hear what it is? Yeah, it's going to be the 5 chord. So what do we ask ourselves? That's right. What's the 5 of the 5? Build a, what do you build? Major triad. That's right. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then. So we have to see if a G major chord is going to work in the key of F. What it is. Isn't that cool? It's like our ears fail us, so let's use our logic. Let's use our brain. Just common sense music theory. It's just like barely second level music theory to understand these secondary dominants. I'm just going to give you one for homework. I'm not going to walk you through it. You can do it yourself. You can check the comments to see if you're right. But what if you played What a Wonderful World in C? What would that next one be? What would that 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 one be? But here it is. That one. See if you can figure it out. Put it in the comments. One great way to get a better grasp on music theory and on figuring chords out by ear, rather than just watching this video, is to check out my course on Nebula, Everything I Know About Chords. It's an hour-long course, and there are 2 parts to it. That makes it 2 hours. Nebula is the largest creator-owned streaming platform in the world. It's where I put everything that I have that I don't put on YouTube, all my extra stuff, extended cuts of my videos. You can also only find my show, Quarter Notes, on Nebula. 4 interviews this year, you guys, with amazing jazz piano players. Larry Goldings, Dennis Ham from Thundercat, Jackie Terrison, and I'm so pleased to announce my final episode has just dropped with Jacob Mann. Check out a little bit from our interview. Hi, everybody, and welcome to Quarter Notes with Amy Nolte here on Nebula. Today, I have Jacob Mann here at my house. Hello, Jacob.
Hi. When I work through these shapes melodically instead of just banging them out as a chord, it's a nice way to take advantage of the stuff that's already in my hand.
I could hear it, yeah. This I wanted to talk about.
Oh, yeah.
The Nebula platform is a place where creators put content that goes deeper. It's extra thoughtful, extra engaging. You'll get all of my classes that are on Nebula. Classes about improvising, classes about chords and harmony, and how to play the piano by ear. Nebula is also a place with no ads. No ads ever. I also put my videos there first, oftentimes a week before you'll even see them on YouTube. And you can watch other creators as well, creators that you know and love from YouTube already, like my friend Adam Neely, like my friend 12 Tone, like Charles Cornell. And Nebula is also producing great originals that are outside of music. So many categories of videos that are on Nebula. One of my favorites is the Nebula original series, Jet Lag, which is just a bunch of crazy people racing across different parts of the world, playing games, doing smart challenges, and making me laugh my butt off. You can get Nebula now if you use the code right here. You'll get everything that I'm talking about. It's also just about the best way that you can support me as a creator so that I can keep putting videos on YouTube for you. You get it for $36 for the entire year. I hope this video was helpful for you and that you can go start to figure out songs that you couldn't figure out before. Thank you so much for watching, everybody, and I'll see you next time on Amy Nolte Music.